Okay, I came on here to tell you a little bit about um, the word torque. 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 That word came in my spirit last week or this past week because I was trying to explain to someone what I saw when I saw the wheels turning. And I've read in scripture in Ezekiel what Ezekiel saw when he saw the wheels turning. And he described it as a wheel within a wheel. So I was thinking about the first day my eyes were open and the scales fell off my eyes, what I saw. And I wanted to share that with you. So I drew a picture of what I actually saw the day my eyes were open. I saw the wheels that Ezekiel described, and then on both sides of the wheel, in the center was the form of a man, in the form of a head, fully covered in a white robe. But of course, I didn't draw it in white. I drew it in a pencil or marker because you wouldn't be able to see it if I drew it in white. So as you see these two wheels, they're facing forward. So I wanted to kind of define for me what I saw in my revelation, because I think the way Ezekiel was explaining it, I think people tend to focus on the wheel spokes, like the rim of the wheel that holds the wheel, I guess, in its chamber. So a wheel within a wheel, but let me explain what I saw. So you see the picture. Okay, so in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, over in verse um, 15, it starts to say, "Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl." And it talks about, what it looks like. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. We've heard a lot of people talk about a wheel in the middle of a wheel. It says, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. Now it says there are four sides. So I'm going to, again, explain to you what that means. And for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. When the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither, it says, thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Wow. So I read some commentary that I found on the internet, and it says, this is a commentary here. It says their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. It says it is somewhat difficult to unfold. It is probable the wheels were framed, so as to be an exact sphere or globe, which easily rolled to any side or quarter since it touches the earth or basis. Let me explain to you again. Look at the picture. The reason why Ezekiel said he believed it was a wheel in the middle of a wheel is because when you look at a car, you see the tires on the car when they're facing you. You see the rubber. When you would think, as Ezekiel explained the wheel in the middle of a wheel, you would think that you saw spokes, like you saw a wheel, like, a rim and a wheel in the middle, like a rim. But that's not what I saw. When my eyes were opened on that day, what I saw was wheels turning like laser light. So I'm just going to draw it. And you would think there were wheels in the middle of the wheel because the laser light turned so quickly that it made a trail of light behind it. So it was like a swirling light, and it moved so quickly, it is very difficult to explain. So the only way I can explain it is that it was so powerful, what I saw with my eyes, that The only way to explain it is that it was so powerful. These wheels were turning with the speed of light. They actually looked like swirls of light. Like if you were to give your kid one of those little things you buy at the roller skating rink. I forgot what you call it, the little, they glow, and you break it and it glows very bright, and then you spin it and you can see the light, the trail of the light spinning behind it. That is how I saw the wheel in the wheel. It was a light. It was brighter than the morning sun, and it was swirling on both sides. The wheels were turning just like this, very, very bright. And they came to me swiftly. It's almost like an airplane. An airplane has to have a certain level of speed. That speed has to be so fast. The only way I could define it is torque, because the speed of the wheels was so fast just to, there was so much power in the spinning of the wheels. And while the wheels were spinning with the speed of light, the slow movement, of the form of the spirit of the, man, of God or Jesus, the form of man moved slowly towards my face. And it was like the speed of the wheels had to go just that fast to move the size and the heaviness and the power of this of this form of God. It's almost like when Isaiah said, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord, and he was high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. He was covered from head to toe and fully white. And the wheels were moving with the speed of light. But the direct proportion of the speed of the wheel was not equal to the movement of the form of God that moved towards me. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like an airplane. When you're in the airplane and it's getting ready to take off, you can hear the engine, and it powers up to such a high speed of torque that it's moving with speed, but the airplane hasn't lifted yet. So the amount of power that it takes to lift that huge, heavy airplane off the runway is not, it's almost like you can't explain how fast those wheels are spinning and what level of pressure and speed it takes to lift that airplane up. And even though the wheels are going so fast, once the airplane is in the air, those, the wheels are still turning, or that motor, that engine is still going, but it glides, the airplane, it glides at such a speed, but it looks like it's moving slow. And that's why you can get to a place in an hour that would take you 5 hours to get to, because you are moving with the speed of light. And so what I was seeing when my eyes were open is what Ezekiel saw. And the only way I can explain it is to say that the power that it took to move the form of God, he came down, the heavens parted like a slow moving curtain. I mean, just like I was in a movie theater, they just parted so slowly, just like a movie. And as they parted, the largest angel that I would have never dreamed of seeing came down out of the sky. I mean, came down. It was humongous. And under the wings of this angel came out the form of God, the form of man, came out fully covered. And I saw the head, shape of a head, which I drew, which you saw on the paper. I saw the shape of a head, and all I could see was bright white. So I covered my eyes because it was so bright I couldn't look right at it. But I saw the form of a head. I thought I was dying. I could not believe I was seeing this, okay? I saw the form of the head shape and the shoulders and the white robe, and it was so bright. The whole form was bright. And the wheels were also the brightness of light, just like the form. It was bright like a white laser that you would see on Star Trek or something. And it moved. It came from underneath the wings of this angel that was larger than the whole entire sky. And his wings just spread out over the whole heavens. And when it opened up his wings, it did it like in a swoop. Like it did it like in a swoop, and it opened. And when it opened up, the form came down and the wheels were turning. And it was like the wheels were turning so fast, but the form was moving so slow towards me. It was like the speed of the wheels had to move just that fast to move that huge, larger than life form of God. Like it took so much power and it moved towards me. And then when it got close, it suspended in air. And then the wheels came on the side of my ear and they were still spinning. The wheels never stopped spinning. They were on each side of my ear. And as they were on each side of my ear, they were speaking a language that I couldn't understand. But I heard them speak and I couldn't make out what they were saying. And as the wheels were speaking, I also spoke. I don't know what I was saying. And I was looking from left to right, speaking in other tongues. This was a open vision. I was not at home. I was not in the bed asleep. I was in church. When the wheels came to the side of my head speaking to me and I was speaking in tongues, they flew back on the side of the form of God. And as they flew back, they never turned left or right. I saw the form of the wheel, the front of the wheel. I saw it turning. I saw the front. They didn't have to turn sideways like a car. I didn't see the tread. I didn't see the tread. I saw the whole wheel turning. It looked just like light, like laser light. And so as it moved back on the side of the form of God, covered from head to toe, because it had come down near me. The form of God had come down towards my face so close where it got to my mouth, and I felt the heat, the fire of it on my lips, and I fell backward. Oh God! Oh God! I was ducking. When it got when the lights when the wheels flew backward on the side of the former man, I looked at all three and I said, "Oh my God, it has to be the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit," because it was the wheels in the middle and the form. But then I don't know. I had to go read later because the revelation came before I saw with my eyes before I read about it. So I didn't. I had to go seek out and understand what was this I just saw. I didn't know Ezekiel had seen the same thing until after this happened to me. And I explained it to people. And after I explained it, I went and read it because I was told it's an open vision. I didn't know what an open vision was. I actually Googled it. So after they flew back on the side of the former man, they all went backward. They didn't turn left or right. They went backward, up underneath the wings of this large angel. Large. And the angel closed its wings, and then it went up into the heavens, and the curtain closed. And I could not believe that I saw all of that day. That is my open vision revelation that I wanted to share with you. I hope it blesses you. Read Ezekiel, the whole chapter. It's very deep.